On the trail radio here, I've actually come across quite a few people who have the same question about this, and I actually get a couple of different answers to this very topic. So one of the first things that could be happening whenever you have your, let's say, a baofeng radio, which is what I assume most new people starting out are going to be using anyhow. So you have this here and you start hearing static. Well, there's a couple of different forms of static that you could be hearing. You might be hearing data transmissions or things that sound like this. Now that could also have a digital radio coming through, a P25 radio, or something along those lines that this analog radio can't decipher. Another thing that it could be is, let's say I am on GMRS 1, which is 462.5625. But whenever you have this radio, you see I don't have the frequency in just right. I have it off by probably about 18. So whenever you get on here, it's not receiving it right because it is not filtering it out properly, considering that the megahertz difference is completely different. But if I was to change it,
462.562.
Now it should come across very, very clear.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Such as that. Another thing that you may want to look into is by going into your menu. On the very first menu option, as you've seen in any of my other videos, is squelch. Now, baofeng is known for having a bad squelch. But you can go into chirp and actually go to the chirp settings and change what each squelch does to make it more reliable. As a matter of fact, going from squelch 1, the lowest there is other than 0, to 0 sounds like this.
Confirm.
Another cause may be that you're not using the right antenna. See, this antenna is a VHF UHF antenna, but this antenna is a VHF 200 megahertz antenna, specifically rated for the 200 megahertz band. Therefore, whenever I start scanning through my 200 megahertz band, this may stop having static and may more commonly pick up the 200 megahertz range, or the 1.25 meter that a lot of amateur enthusiasts would rather call it. So, getting your antenna is very important to get it to the correct frequency that you're using to increase your distance and receiving, but also just raising your radio up left and right may decrease that static. In fact, doing that may just change the conditions enough that you hear them perfect. Maybe even going up and climbing on the roof.